Hi everyone, it's Monique from ButterBeeScraps, and we're back for week 4, and yay, we're going to start embellishing the album. But before we get to that, I told you I'd show you all my tags before this video. I had a jewelry show on the weekend, so I had to finish these off yesterday. So this, of course, is the one that we did together. And we would have done this one together. And one thing that I found is that the antique linen on this craft paper faded to the point where you couldn't even really see it. So I restamped using the frayed burlap, and I did that for all of the craft tags. Alrighty, now that we're done going through the tags, oops, sorry, I kicked you, that wasn't very nice. We're going to get right down to embellishment. So I am actually sticking this stack of tags off to the side here somewhere where hopefully I won't kick it. And so what I do before I start embellishing is I get a whole bunch of stuff together because I'm a very visual person. I don't design in my head. I move things around on the paper so I can see what they look like. So I have a bucket of filigrees here. I know, not very organized, but digging is kind of fun. And I have this tray which has gears, chain, clocks. There's some arrow charms and stuff like that in there. I've got some brads and eyelets off to the side here. And I've got a couple of bins. Better open this first. This has got a whole bunch of fun clips and paper clips and, you know, all sorts of stuff in it. I thought that would be fun. And this other one, I think I primarily put aside because of all the eyelets in here. There's these cool little, I don't even know where I got these. They're like a little snap with an eyelet back on them. Anyways, there's these snaps, garment pins, all that kind of fun stuff. So, just so you know, I'm not just picking things out of the air. I've got it all to the side here. And my desk is never large enough to hold all that stuff on it, so I'm always using the floor. So anyway, we're going to get going with this first spread, and obviously there's not going to be as much to it because we're sliding tags in the pockets. So the main thing is going to be embellishing this panel here, and I might just add a little bit around the edges here. Just to make it a little bit more masculine and add an accent, that kind of thing. So this spread. We're going to move on to the next spread. I'm not entirely happy with that stitching, but whatever. So I think this is as far as we're going to get today, is finish embellishing both sides of these pages. But I mean, that's a lot of ground to cover because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full size pages to embellish. So these, I'm going to start on the left, and actually when I've got a flap like this, I try not to add too terribly much weight because there's, you know, the fold on the edge is pretty thin. But so what I've decided to do here, I think, is I'm going to make an envelope here, and I am going to use my envelope board, which I have never used. I'll be honest, I tested it out before I turned on the video. That's as far as it's gone. So in terms of size, I think I'm going to go with like the set 3.5 by 5.5 card size, because it'll be a good size to put like 3 by 5 photos in and that kind of thing. So we need here a 7.5 by 7.5 inch paper, and I think I'm going to throw a wrench in this. I was originally going to do the whole envelope out of black cardstock, but I think I've decided I want to switch it up. I want to do the envelope out of vellum, and I'll do the flap out of black cardstock. Okay, so I have this vellum from Stampin' Up, and no, I'm not magic. I paused the video so I could get it and you wouldn't hear me crashing and banging and stuff. So for 3.5 by 5.5 inch card, I said 7.5 by 7.5 inch paper. And what I'm going to do is cut the full size paper, even though the flap we're going to do out of black cardstock. Now we have to score 3 1/8 inches. So we're going to measure this to 3 1/8. I'm going to use this is my Teflon balloon folder. So we're going to go ahead and score this and punch. And then we got to rotate, line the score line up with the score guide. Okay, now we're done the envelope. Time to make the flap. And I don't want the flap to be just a standard triangular shape. I'm actually going to give it kind of a bracket shape. And I'm going to use this memory box die. I think it's called Perfect Bracket Edge or something like that. And you don't have to use the full width here. It's actually quite good. You can make the ear edge that wide, that wide, that wide, that wide, that wide, or anything in between. It looks great. So let's just confirm. Cut once, measure twice, right? So this envelope is not quite 5 3/4 inches. So I'm going to actually make the flap 3 1/4 inches wide, and I'm going to glue it underneath the envelope. I'm also going to score this at 1/2 inch. Or in this case, I'm just going to go to 2.5 inches because it is easier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my die cutting machine, and I'm basically going to take this edge, line it up along that edge of the die and center it, and cut it off. Be back in a second. so I've decided that the vellum envelope is too plain. So I'm going to add some gilding flake. This is by Indigo Blue, Mega Flake. I've actually been trying to get this into the shop, but it is forever out of stock. So anyway, this one is called Chariot of Fire. And instead of the glue, I'm going to use the new sticky embossing powder from Tim Holtz. Well, it's new to me anyway. I really do love the gilding flakes. I don't love how they look on the sticky embossing powder. I'll be honest with you, because in some places they look really shiny, but in others they look kind of dull, and I don't like that. Like I don't know, I just like the image on it when you use glue, but I'm not gonna throw this out just because I don't quite like the finish on it. And that's the beauty of doing a vintage or rustic album, is that things don't quite turn out. It's okay, it totally works. Okay, so what I did here, you guys, is I used the same edge die for this, and although it's not perfect, it's good enough for what I like. So what I did was I basically lined this up where I wanted it with however much black showing, and I measured back from the end to see where I had to cut it off to leave 1/8 of an inch here. So it just happened to be 1 inch. The only thing I'm not happy with is right in the corner here. So I think I am going to just kind of mark that and take a little bit out of that corner.
Life's a foolish game. Do you ever feel the same? Well, maybe we could change, turn the ship another way. Feel it in the darkness, we're sailing right into those jagged cliffs. Yeah. Some say we've always been insane. Hey, life's a foolish game.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way that page turned out, I think. So I'm going to move on to this page next. And I really like the image that's on here, and I really don't want to cover it up too much. So I'm going to do something rather simple. I'm actually going to use, I have these cool spiral clips. I think that one's a goldish one. It's hard to tell in this light. Anyway, and I'm just going to basically just clip a couple of tags over top of here so that when you remove the tags, you can actually still see the image. I really don't want to cover it up. I might add, I'll probably add some more of these square brads from over on the other page up in here somewhere. So I'll speed the video back up and you can watch this next page.
Simple equation, running closed system. Natural world gone missing, plus all our CO2 emissions equals degradation, wasting ships and mass extinctions. Oh no. But maybe we can change, we sure can't stay the same, 'cause life's a foolish, foolish game. Solution, rewire our connection, maybe less consumption, emerging from a mind of isolation, revalue all that we've been given. God don't work on commission. We make up one big breathing chain, we're quite the same. Hey, life's a foolish, foolish game. Life's a foolish game. Do you ever feel the same? Well, maybe we could change and turn the ship another way. Take less than we've been given if we move in that direction. Yeah. We'll find our place in this living chain. We're quite the same. Yeah, life's a foolish, foolish game. Life's a foolish game. Hey, life's a foolish game. Life's a foolish game.
that page is done, and I'm satisfied with it. I made that look so much more difficult than it really had to be. Anyways, okay, so now the next thing I'm going to work on is the back side of these flaps. And I think I'm going to just make them simple and make them into photo mats. And I decided to make custom photo mats. What I did was I cut black cardstock, 4.5 inches, I think. Yeah, 4.5 inches by 8 inches. And then I used the same die as here. It was the Perfect Bracket by Memory Box. So I did that on both sides there. And you can see this will be just about a perfect fit. And then I found this cool new die that I have. Well, it's new to me anyway. It's Architectural Elements. It's also a Spellbinders die. And I cut these pieces out of gold foil cardstock. And I'm just going to use them as a little embellishment on either end of the mat. Sorry about that. Not sure where my camera so rudely shut off because the memory on my phone was full, but we are back. So I was talking about adhering this wallpaper onto the inside flap on this side, and I had decided that I actually want this to be held in place with a magnet, partially because, you know, there's the extra envelope, there's going to be a tag in the pocket, so there's a little bit of weight here, and I just want to keep it as secure as I can. So I took this wallpaper that we finished, flipped it over, put the score tape on, added a little magnet here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of E6000 to the magnet and stick her down as I usually do. Now on this side, because there's just the one flap here, I'm not going to bother with the magnet. Also, I don't want the magnets interfering with each other from page to page, so I'm just going to remove this clip and stick this wallpaper down. Okay, there we go. Now, I really wanted to continue going and get the last two spreads here, this one and the next one here, finished today, but you know what, that's not gonna happen. I'm running out of time. It's 20 to 8 in the evening on Wednesday evening, which is crazy late for me to be finishing my tutorial off. So I do think we accomplished a lot today. So just a reminder, I finished showing you all my tags. You should have finished that last week. We did this spread, did a nice little assembly here, plus we did some stitching. I'm gonna put these tags in just because I want to. And then we did these two. I'm gonna put this tag in. And of course we did this page. You can see I left a second magnet on top there, just so I don't lose it for next time. And we did this page. So next week we're gonna finish those two and hopefully finish this whole spread here. So that's the goal for next week. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and see you next week.